Welcome back to ABN Tonight. We'll be discussing the seismic political, economic, and social upheavals that have shaped the modern world. Tonight, we take you on a journey through the 20th century where global conflicts not only reshaped nations but also set the stage for much of what we see today.
Let's start with a major shift in power. The early 20th century saw the decline of several long-standing empires. The Ottoman, Russian, and Qing dynasties all crumbled, paving the way for new nations to rise. These changes weren't without consequences, though. As old empires fell, competition for global influence heated up, especially among emerging powers like the United States and Japan. They began jockeying for their place on the global stage, but it was Europe that would soon find itself in the midst of a catastrophic conflict, one that would change the world forever.
Speaking of Europe, World War I, also known as the Great War, was triggered by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914, but the underlying causes go much deeper. Militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. Collectively, these factors are what historians now call the main cause, ignited a war that engulfed the entire globe.
That's right. The war, which involved trench warfare and new technologies like tanks and chemical weapons, resulted in staggering casualties. The Treaty of Versailles in 1919 sought to bring an end to this war, but its harsh penalties on Germany would sow the seeds for the future conflict.
And the interwar period wasn't much better. The global economy took a major hit with the Great Depression, and it wasn't long before totalitarian regimes began to rise. We're talking about leaders like Adolf Hitler in Germany, Benito Mussolini in Italy, and Emperor Hirohito in Japan, each pushing aggressive politics that further escalated tensions.
Despite efforts at peace, like the formation of the League of Nations, the interwar period only set the stage for another devastating conflict. Issues left unresolved from World War I, economic stability, and the aggressiveness of expansion of Axis powers, all contributed to the outbreak of World War II.
World War II was unlike any other conflict before it. Total war. Nations didn't just mobilize soldiers, but entire populations. Military strategies evolved, and new horrors emerged, including the Holocaust, where millions of Jews and other marginalized groups were systematically murdered.
The war ended in 1945 with the Allied victory, but it came at a massive cost, and we can't forget the game-changing use of atomic bombs on Japan, ushering in the nuclear age and forever altering the global balance of power.
In the wake of World War II, the world had to reckon with atrocities that shocked humanity to its core. Genocides like the Armenian genocide and the Holocaust showed us dangers of unchecked prejudice and authoritarian rule.
And the aftermath of the war reshaped global power dynamics. The Cold War began pitting the US against the Soviet Union in an ideological, military, and political struggle that would last for decades. Meanwhile, decolonization movements swept across Africa and Asia as colonies fought for their independence.
The effects of World War II continue to shape the world we live in today. The geopolitical struggle between the US and the Soviet Union, the spread of democracy, the rise of human rights movements, these are all trace their roots back to the conflicts and resolutions of the 20th century.
As we reflect on these major conflicts and their far-reaching consequences, it's clear the lessons of the 20th century still resonate. They remind us of the fragile nature of peace and the importance of diplomacy, cooperation, and understanding in maintaining a stable world order.
That's all for tonight's ABN.